Choose your character.
All right. Welcome back to the Geek Set Podcast, the only podcast that blend hip hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces, and this is 1-on-1 with Deuces, the place where I speak with creators, curators, and people that you should know. And right now, man, I got another dope individual, somebody that, if you are part of this Blerd community, I'm pretty sure you came across some content that she was a part of. But I'm speaking with the amazing, the talented, the multi-hyphenated Cheyenne The Geek. I was gonna attempt your last name, but I'm going to attempt it. And let me know if I got it right. Cheyenne Ewulu.
Ewulu, yes.
Yes.
Ewulu. Yes, you got it.
Hey, because a lot of times we get called by our handle name, but I also want to put some respect on your real name, especially knowing, you are Nigerian, and I know that your roots and your heritage is something that's very, very important to you. So I always make sure I give people the proper respect.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you for at least like attempting. And you got it right. Like most people just look at it, they get intimidated, they're like, but I'm just like, as long as you attempt, because a lot of people, I grew up with people not even like attempting to say
right.
You know what I mean? So like, I appreciate it. But oh my God, multi-hyphenated? Oh my, what is going on?
You don't think you are?
That's crazy.
You're a writer, you're a filmmaker, you're a cosplayer. You're out here.
I try to be out here, especially in this pandemic. You have no choice, really.
And that's the pandemic been the gift and the curse for people like us who create and who can create something like from Zoom or these moments. Like it gives us that opportunity to kind of expand and be across, just different platforms where back in, before the pandemic, a lot of things was like, you have to be here. And then you see a lot of media and a lot of property start saying, okay, well, we can create something pretty dope virtually, or we just got to find time and you got to have good connection, a good camera. Like you put that investment in there. So like, that's where like the gift is like, okay, that work. But then, for me, I'm an extrovert. Like I am an extrovert in all these senses. And I know there's a lot of
you. I am not. I'm an introvert in the worst, in the most biggest sense, like introvertism. Like this pandemic lockdown stuff is perfect for me because
it's been killing me. I was like, I need that interaction, and especially with our podcast and just kind of with this culture, this geek culture, going to so many conventions. I was like, it's funny because the last convention that we went to was C2E2 in 2019. No. 2020 is when the pandemic hit. And then the first one that we went back to was C2E2 at the beginning of this year and got to cover it. It was pretty dope. But it was just like, man, I was missing those. Because we would go to like the small conventions, the big conventions, because we just like to be amongst the culture and just kind of offer our services and, interview some dope people. And it was just really, really dope. So, it was just like this pandemic has been a struggle for me.
Oh man, no, I've been chilling. Like sometimes I miss like being back in like studios and stuff, but like 90% of the time I like being at home. Like I like being able to do stuff at home. Although it does get a little bit difficult, like with like when it comes to like creating content and stuff now, because like you don't have like a team behind you helping you film. Like it's just literally me and my rinky-dink $70 teleprompter and like my camera. And so, but yeah, I love being at home. I don't know how y'all do it. Like even going to cons, man, it's like a lot. I do it, but like it's like a lot.
Right. No, I know it's definitely a lot. But I don't know, just something for me, because like I said, I'm highly interested in people's story. So, and one of the great things about this platform and being able to like learn who people are, I got invested a lot into like a lot of indie creators or a lot of people are startup, because I'm like, everybody's going for the top dog. Let's get the people who are on that rise, who star rising is coming up. And I got a chance to talk to just so many dope people and learn just different facets of people's life. And I think that is really, really dope. And that's why, I wanted to expand this platform, because I know that right now, there's been a lot of publication and a lot of things highlighting your documentary, Shades of Color, but
Shades of Cosplay.
Shades of Cosplay. I said Shades of Color. I do apologize. Shades of Cosplay, Shades of Cosplay, Shades of Cosplay. Make sure y'all say it the right way. But I mean, a lot of and so, but I was like, you know, I do want to dive into that, but I also want to dive into you as a person because you know, one of the things that I hate about the Blerd community, but I love how you and people like you who speak up on it is, you had said a tweet once, and it was like, look around, like most of the people that you know that are into anime are Black women. So anybody saying that, like, oh, there's no Black nerds, there's no Black women nerds, like you really just not looking. And I hate that because I'm such a big supporter of Black women and voices of Black women and changing that stereotype. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you always hear, like, you know, you see those dudes, like I'm in a part of a whole bunch of groups, you know, like on Facebook, and it's always some dudes come in like, oh man, black girls didn't like me when I was growing up. And I'm like, bro, that was not my experience. Like every Black girl and Black woman, you know, now in my adult life that I have met and that I have talked to about anime, either we had in-depth conversations or when they find out about like, oh, you into anime, you know what, I've been meaning to jump into that. And they're open to it. So I'm like, I don't get this experience that you are saying. And so like, I always try to make sure I speak out against people who say that, but I know that you, like I said, you fight that good fight almost every day on Twitter. And
you know, I don't try to. I just try to say what I know. You know what I mean? Because like nobody can tell me. I can't tell anybody their experience. I always try to make that very clear. Like I don't know what your experience is, and I'm never trying to like invalidate anybody's experiences.
Right.
However, you can't keep saying that Black women aren't like into this when there's tons of proof on the internet. Like now we're all on the internet now. We're all on Twitter. We're all using hashtags. Like there's so much proof that you're wrong. And here you are yet again back on Twitter with the ashiness talking about, well, you know, Black girls don't really like this stuff. Or like Black girls, you know, they might like it, but they're really just liking it for clout. Or like, you know, just like little things like that are just like, okay, stop trying to like diminish us because we're just as big as fans of this stuff as y'all are, like literally. So
I'm gonna keep it a bean. A lot of the times when it comes down to details and of it, you guys are definitely way more in tune. Like from my experience, having conversations with just people of the Blerd community. Like I've talked to a lot of women, and I'm like, man, I didn't even think about that theme, or man, I didn't even look at it that way. Like it's always really dope conversations, and you know that's one thing that the pandemic did help out a lot too, as well, is being like jumping into Twitter spaces, and when Clubhouse was rocking, I was like, man, there's so many dope people that I haven't talked to yet, or I wasn't even aware of, and now I'm getting to, you know, work with them more, do more things around them, you know, just even offer a platform for them because, like I said, I'm really big on sharing my platform, and it kind of goes into like what one of my big goals that I'm going to be doing that I wanted to, you know, that I did want to kind of get your experience on as well. But
yeah,
before we get full depth into it, I mean, I do want to take this moment to give you your flowers right here. I did kind of give it a little bit, but I do also want to make sure that like your documentary, you know, the Shades of Shades of Cosplay. I thought that it was such a dope project in general, because I know that like when, like, you know, we even to today, like because I know that you did that right, like what, 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, I did that I made it in 2015, premiered it in 2016.
Right, and the message and everything is still like
very much relevant,
relevant today. You know, like we just had a situation at BlerdCon that, you know, that kind of went crazy, and it was just like, but then when you go into it deeper, just like a Black person's cosplay journey, and again with all the stereotypes, with all the things that are against us, I did want to get like, what was the most difficult part for you putting this documentary together?
The most difficult part was definitely filming it. Like honestly, just like shooting it. That was definitely the most difficult part for me, because when I made this, I was like, just like I don't even remember if I'm pretty sure I was maybe like fresh out of college, or like maybe like on my last year or something. And yeah, I just my friends were like big cosplayers. Like I was a huge cosplayer. Like I loved to cosplay at the time, and like it was like something that I was like really, really passionate about, to the point where I spent like so much money from my little 9-to-5 job, you know, just making different costumes and stuff with my friends at the time. And like we were just like, hey, you know, I've always wanted to get into like filmmaking, and like, especially I love documentaries. I'm always like talking about documentaries. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, like, why not, you know, I always want to make projects based on the things that I know. And I was like, well, I know this like nerd community, or like this niche part of the nerd community, and I think it would be really cool to highlight, you know, some of the talented people in the community that I know. So but yeah, I think the hardest part was definitely filming and like being like a one woman show with my, you know, lighting and camera. And then I think that was probably the hardest part, because everybody else was like super down that I interviewed. They were super down to do it. I didn't have any problem getting permission from anybody. I didn't have any issues at the convention. It was really mostly just being a one woman, you know, camera crew.
And that was going to be my next question, because I was going to say, like, did you just do this all on your own? Because like, yeah, I can, when you're a fan of documentaries such as us, since we just established that, and we're about to be documentary friends now at this point. When you watch documentaries, I always, like I said, it is a lot that goes into it. You know, it just, you know, especially with, you know, getting the outline together, getting the way that you want the documentary to flow, getting the questions together, getting how you want it to edit, getting the lighting to make sure that the interview and the it looks, you know, visually compelling.
Yeah.
And then also just, you know, putting it together and saying, okay, is my overall theme together? Like, it's like when you watch this,
yeah.
You know, does it put my overall theme in place how I envisioned it? So it's like, you know, I was like, and so, you know, right off the bat, I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, well, she had to have a team, because like that's a whole lot. So that's even far more impressive that you did it on your own, because it's like, man, that is really, really dope. Because again, as I told you in pre-production, like, I'm embarking on a journey for a documentary, and I feel so overwhelmed right now. And you know,
yeah, I think what it was for me was I was like so young and impressionable, you know, back then. Not saying I'm not still young, but like I was like super young and impressionable, and like I had just got this like really cool, my first expensive camera with like my first like somewhat expensive lens, and I was like so excited to create, you know what I mean? To the point where I wasn't really thinking about, like, I just wanted to make something cool with like people that I liked. So I wasn't even thinking about like where it could go after that. I was just like, as long as my community, like my friends like it, like I'm totally fine with like what it looks like. So I don't think I was focusing that hard on like the quality aspect of it back then. But like, it's so funny, like 6 years later watching it, I'm just like, I kind of, for like this being like my first film, like shooting it by myself, I kind of did pretty well. Like, you know, with like you said, like doing the story, and like not to like, you know, toot my own, but like,
oh no, we tooting that over. What are you talking about?
Like you said, like getting the story, I don't think that was something that I really thought about when making it. I was just like, I just had a bunch of questions down, and I just, you know, had like the people to interview, and they answered, and I just like walked around with my camera, you know, getting whatever shots I could. And now like looking back at it, I'm just like, there actually like is a definite story here, and then like also like a definite ending, you know. And it's like also like not a traumatic ending, you know what I mean? And like a lot of times when people make documentaries based on like racism and things like that, there's like never, it's almost like they leave us with no solutions, no hope. And you're just like, damn, like I just watched this and now I don't even want to leave my room, because like what, like, you know, where's the hope for people that look like me? You know what I mean? And I feel like with my documentary, somehow younger Cheyenne was able to like, you know, let it wrap up with like a tiny positive little bow, which I really like now looking back as like I try to step more into my filmmaker bag. I'm just kind of like, okay, she was onto something when she made this. Like, you know, it's her first film. It's a little, you know, there could be moments that, you know, I wish I could fix now, like now that I'm more experienced with like editing and things like that. But I was like, you know what? I'm proud. Like she, like whatever was going on in Cheyenne's brain back then, I don't know. She somehow scammed her way into knowing what she was doing. But yeah, no, I totally get you. It's like, that's definitely a hard aspect. And I think if I ever do another one, that's definitely something I'm going to like take more into account when I create in the future.
But again, like I said, it's learning on the job, you know, that's the, and one of the things that I've been a heavy advocate for, I said, and again, and I'm about to get on my hotel vibes, because I was like, the one thing that I love about Black media now, you know, with Misha Green, with Issa Rae, with Jordan Peele, with Ava DuVernay, Lena Waithe, like just with everybody. And then even with, and I don't know who the creator of Southside is, and I feel upset about that. But I said, right now, we are finally in an era where Black people can just do stuff and learn on the go, right? Like, or they can do stuff that doesn't have to necessarily always have like a specific message. We can dive into sci-fi, we can dive into technology, we can do a documentary, we can do a show like Southside, which is essentially Seinfeld, but with Black folks. Like it's a show really about nothing, but it's amazing, so amazing. Like, and I was like, you know, and I was like, white people has had that luxury as long as they think of. They can
the dawn of Hollywood. Like the dawn of Hollywood.
So anytime that I get to see somebody do that, like, you know what, you learn it on the job, you learn it as you go, and then you're knocking it out the park. Like, I champion that so much. And then, like I said, you got to present it at a film festival. Now, with that process, and because you originally said that, you know, at first you was just like, as long as my friends like it, I'm A-okay. So what was the driving force that allowed you to say, you know what, I'm gonna do this at the film festival?
You know what it was? At the time, it kind of just like blew up on its own. Like it just like had a mini blow up. Like even what you're seeing now is like doesn't even compare to like what, you know, kind of numbers it did. Like even when you look at the hashtags, under the hashtag Shades of Cosplay, you'll see like tons of tweets from like 2015, 2016. You know what I mean? And I think from there, I got an offer to like put it on a streaming service. But I was so like young and like dumb and like not really like sure about like the process. I didn't have an agent, manager, whatever. I didn't even think about getting any of those things. And so I think I kind of fumbled that. But but as far as like MagFest goes, they reached out to me and they were like, hey, we, you know, love what you're doing with this project. We would love to premiere it. And like, we would love to have you at our con to like premiere it and do like also a Q&A. And I was like, I am not going to pass up on this, but like, I was so nervous. Because I was like, oh my gosh, like, yeah, I know I like it or like my friends like it, but like, what is like an audience going to think about it? And it's like so jarring to just sit there and have people like, you know, do like reactions. And, you know, Black people, we don't lie. You know what I mean? Like when we're sitting there in the audience, we're going to be like very truthful and genuine in our reaction. So like, it was like very nerve wracking because like my audience was mostly Black cosplayers, which I loved. And so I still actually have like footage of the end of the documentary. I just like made sure I like documented. I was like, okay, who liked it? Did anybody like it? People were clapping. And I was like, oh wow, people were clapping, people were crying. Like it was like a surreal experience that I don't think I could have like, I don't think I registered that very well when I was at MagFest. But like, yeah, that's how that came about.
But I mean, think about it this way, and you know, with you saying that you didn't process it like that in the moment. I mean, again, this whole project was, again, it was something that you was like, I want to do it because I'm passionate about it. And you didn't think that the legs was going to really take off like this. Not saying that you didn't believe in your project. It's just at that moment that wasn't in your scope. So when all that started happening, it makes sense why you would have that moment like, okay, wait, I don't know how to process this yet. You know, but it was like, again, to me, that is the amazingness of when you put work into something that you're passionate about. Because, you know, even same thing, you know, I was listening to a podcast that you was on and you were telling your story about just like you getting into hosting and things like that. And then how you end up getting the My Hero Academia premiere. And it was just like, you know, no, sorry about that. Working for DC. Sorry about that. How you was working for DC. And you said it, you was like, I kind of just shot my shot. I was like, yeah. You know, like my peers were saying that they was going to do it. I'm like, hey, I want to be a part of that. And you went for it, right? And I feel like that is just something like it's in us. It's part of our culture. Like, yes, there's you know, other cultures, they definitely, you know, take those same type of things. But like, I hear more and more stories of where people were just at that moment like, yo, yeah, I'm stepping up. I'm gonna do it right here. Like, yo, I can do this, or, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, I love hearing that moment because it was like, that shows that hustle mentality. I mean, you grew up in New York, you know, so moving out to LA with no agent, and, you know, and trying to figure it out. And then it's just like, you know,
oh my gosh. Moving out to LA was sorry, I don't mean to cut you
Oh,
off,
that's
but
good.
like I'm very ADD, so if I don't get it out, I'll forget about it. But like moving out to LA was like rough, especially like trying to navigate into the industry. Because when I moved out here like, you know, people love to make promises. Like when they
Oh yeah.
see you, they're just like, oh yeah, when you come out here, we're gonna put you on this, that. We're gonna get you this, that. And so when I moved out on the strength of those promises alone. Other than like me wanting to like, you know, just have a fresh start.
Yeah.
And when I moved out here, it was like crickets. And I was like, oh, okay, so what do I do now? Like, I'm just like out here, no connections, no nothing. Like, what am I supposed to do now? So like, I didn't have a choice but to like really like find my footing quick.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it was just gonna be like, what did I move out here for? You know what I mean?
I was just telling somebody, I said, for some reason, and I think it's something that's holding me back, but I need to get over it. And I think a lot of people romanticize Los Angeles, kind of like because right now, like there's a couple of things that I want to do, and I got to get out to LA as well. But I got it in my head. I'm like, all right, but before I get out of LA, I got to line up all this stuff of work. Otherwise, I'm wasting this trip. And it took somebody to tell me, it's like, bro, just come out here. Like, what are you doing? And I was like, but I feel like I got to set it up. He's like, no, you don't. But I feel like it's the same thing for like LA, New York. I think those are the only two, because like in Atlanta, I'm like, you can just go out there and work and, you know, have fun. Like, but I feel like LA, New York, everybody romanticizes, like, if I ain't out here doing business, I'm out here like, and it's like, you know, I gotta get out that mindset. But then, like I said, a lot of people promise stuff. You went out there with that thought, and then things didn't go the way that at that moment. But again, like I said, it's either sink or swim, and you chose to swim. Like, you really put things together, and now, like I said, you're working with Funimation, Viz Media, Nerdist. You're doing things for HBO, DC Comics. So it's like it worked out. I guess your hustle.
It did work out. I think people have the impression that I just kind of popped out of nowhere. And like, I'm just like, but like, I've been like at this for a while. Like, I've been like trying to figure out my footing even before I moved out to LA. You know what I mean? So like, what I agree with what you said, like about just like doing it, but like also it never hurts to like, you know, have your stuff together before you move out here. Cause like, it'll save you a lot. Like when I moved out here, I had already done like a bunch of like free gigs, like back at home, where I was just like, you know, doing interviews. Like, I wanted to make sure I had like a reel to present, you know, at least for like the hosting aspect of like what I wanted of my career. And so I got lucky enough to do like a lot of interviews when I was in college. I had like this K-pop YouTube channel when I was like super obsessed with K-pop. And I managed to like finesse like interviews with K-pop idols through that. And like, people were just like, whoa, who is this person? You know what I mean? Like, and so like, I just made sure like before I moved out here that I at least had something to show, because when you move out here, you're going to be up against a million people who can do what you think you can do.
Yeah.
And you can probably do it well. You know what I mean? But these people can also do it well, and they have the resume to back it up. You know what I mean? So you want to come out here with like whatever you got to show, and not empty-handed.
Yeah.
So like, while I understand like, yeah, come out here and do it, I'm just like, okay, come out here, but like, don't come out here with nothing to show. That's like my biggest advice when people move out here.
Oh no, definitely. I agree 100% with that. That's like, it's funny because I feel like where you was at that point, that's where I'm at right now. I'm currently building up my resume, building up these interviews, doing these things, and being of the culture. So that way, when I do eventually, one of my goals, I was like, I'm just going to get out there first and just book a Airbnb for a week and just work on some stuff, and then, you know, until things change in regards to that. But like, it's funny how things come full circle, because you're saying how like at that moment you were booking all these amazing guests, and everybody's like, yo, how'd you get them? And do you realize that you're that now? Like, when I announced that I got you, there was a slew of people like, oh snap, you got Cheyenne? Like, people rock with you heavily like that.
You know, my brain doesn't work that way. Like, I just kind of think of myself like I'm still like a dorky, like weird person in my brain. Like, let me just like be straight up. Like, I don't feel like I'm shit yet. Like, I would love to be in that spot where I'm just like, yeah, you know, I'm on my, you know, whatever. Like, but I feel like I have such a long way to go. So I don't even think about myself that way. And that might just be like the imposter syndrome, the inevitable Cheyenne imposter syndrome creeping up on me on a daily basis. But, you know, yeah, I don't know. I appreciate that there are people who like what I do and like look up to what I do, but I never just thought like, oh my gosh, like yeah, I'm like,
Well,
I'm there. Like I don't feel like I'm there yet, but that's like really cool though. That's like really cool to know. Like it does. Yeah.
I'm definitely here to let you know that, because I mean, again, as we talked in pre-production, I was telling you, the way I see it, and like I said, there's like, I love to watch people star rising, we saw Issa from Awkward Black Girl growing, and to where she's at right now. And it's like, yo, look at the amazing things that she's doing, right? So like, I like to see when people are doing things genuinely and how things are rocking and everything like that. And again, like I said, there was 3 names that I told you at the beginning of this podcast that you're associated with, like Angelique Roche, the Blerd girl. You are right up there with them. And so it's like, when we think about like those star rising, people do rally behind you because, one, you're a Black woman that is just making strides in an area where we necessarily are not we wasn't as welcomed before. More so now we are, but it's like at the time of your star rising, and as you was going, and as you were going doing what you were doing, it wasn't that. So I was like, yeah, I want to make sure you know that on my platform that, yeah, we definitely love everything that you're doing. Your name is prominent. But I wanted to ask you, just with more Black women, having voices in these spaces, I mean, how dope has that journey been for you to kind of see more people that look like you and sound like you in these spaces?
Man, it's been cool because I know when I first moved out here, there still was like maybe like 2 prominent like Black geeks in the space. This was like in late 2017, early 2018.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like so hard because all these spaces love to have their tokens or whatever, which like creates like crabs in the barrel mentality often. And it's like when they're like only like a like not even a handful, like a fingerful of Black people in this space doing what they're doing, it's like so hard to like, even as an outsider, like as a newbie, try to like, navigate the space on your own. So it was really hard. Like I was doing like a lot of like free journalism and stuff for like urban outlets and things like that. And even then it was like weird because like when I did see the Black women that were in that space, I was like, love it, but like, this isn't my space. You know what I mean? If I love the celebrities, like it was cool interviewing celebrities, but I was like, okay, I want to be a nerd. I want to kind of get paid to be a nerd. And like, while I love the opportunities this is like getting me, I guess, like, I really feel like I don't belong here doing like, the celebrity, whatever, with these outlets, like with these entertainment outlets. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I like, just like was trying my hardest to like get into that space. And it was really hard. And then like, also one thing that I always like to point out when I first got out here, I didn't even know if I could like, how much Blackness I was even allowed to show. Cause these are white spaces, you know what I mean? And for me, I've always been a natural girl. Like I've been natural for years, you know what I mean? And when I was doing stuff for entertainment outlets at the time, I didn't see any girl wearing natural hair. Like I didn't see any Black girl that looked like me wearing natural hair. I didn't see anybody wearing braids. And so like, it kind of like twisted my brain a little. I was like, okay, so is this how I'm supposed to be to like get XYZ gigs? You know what I mean? Like, how is the, do I need to just like start wearing like straight hair wigs, which I did. Like you'll find old photos of me. Like I definitely was that girl with the like straight hair wig on the red carpet, every gig. And I don't know, I just wanted to authentically be able to be myself. And I feel like I really couldn't in that realm of media. So I don't know. I don't even remember what the question was. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm just like going on a tangent.
I'm kind of glad. I know you was like, man, I need new pictures, but I'm kind of glad that I didn't choose one with the straight wig. I'm like, at least I chose one with the braids.
Like, I'm just like, man, what was the question again? Anyway, yeah.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's more so just talking about representation and what you saw.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I love it. I love it because it was hard. It was. I didn't see a lot of girls like me. There was, or like I saw girls like me, but they weren't in the space. Like a lot of them deserve to be. So it was, yeah. It's cool. Like more of us are popping up. I see like more anime content creators that are women. It's really cool. Yeah.
And what's really dope is like, again, bringing up Issa again and how she did Awkward Black Girl about her life and everything. I know that last year you were saying that one of your goals is to create this pilot about your life and then pitch it, right? And so it's like that story that you have just of that, like, even though there's a lot of people that are going through it, like, if you are able to put that into a pilot, I think that so many people would be able to associate with it, just being in that space. Again, same thing, some of the same themes that we saw on Insecure, but it's like, yeah, you are in this geek space or in this media space or in this world, and you are going for all these roles, and you are seeing like, man, none of these people look like me. And then, like you said, having that, being able to have that moment where where you contemplate, am I supposed to change? Am I supposed to stay myself? I think that that'd be such a great pilot. Are you still working on that? Or
yeah, I actually finished that one that I'm sure I talked about that like probably sometime last year, but like yeah, I actually finished that one, and I just started another pilot, which is also so one thing about me when I write shows, I always like to, like I said, I like to talk about things that I know, and I very much know the Black nerd community. And so I am at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, wherever I transition next from whatever this is, I would still love to keep like that Black nerd flag in some way, shape, or form. So this next pilot that I wrote is very not similar, but it's like it's still on the same subject of like, putting like Black nerds to the forefront. But I'm like really excited to hopefully be able to talk about it soon, because I'm trying to crowdfund for it in the future. But like I just know there's something else there. But yeah, I got about 2 pilots right now and another short film.
nice. I think one of the draws that drew me to you a lot is that a lot of the things that you say and a lot of things that you do, I kind of follow in those footsteps on like, oh, I will like what you just said is exactly my thought process. Like I started doing it with this podcast. I also do music, but like I'm very passionate about this whole Black geek experience and changing the perception of what a Black geek is, because I feel like, again, and now granted, within the community we know and we feel and there's a lot of us that are fighting that same fight, and I make sure I champion everybody that's doing it. I want to be a part of that. I want people to make sure they know, like, Young Deuces, Geek Set is a part of that as well and doing that same, right? And so, it's like a lot of the ideas that I have, same thing. I'm like, I want to do these ideas that's not just me interviewing people, but I want to do this, I want to, and I want to wave that Black geek flag, and I want to let people know, like, yeah, we here, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got this whole thought process. So every time I hear you speak about your dreams and your aspirations and your goals, I connect with it on a personal level, because I'm like, that's exactly how I feel, and so and again, you can hear your passion in what you're saying. I think that that's also the connection piece, and I think that that's why you have so many supporters that where they come, because it's like, again, Black people, we can tell when somebody's faking it, when they're trying to chase a dollar or whatever the case may be, and it's like, we're not getting that from you. It's like, oh yeah, this is somebody that we got to get behind. Yeah,
that's what I love about the internet, because it's like, even like, eventually we're speaking in absolutes, but when I do get to make my show, I love that people can be like, oh, who is this making a show about Black nerds? Who is this? And they can like Google my name immediately and just like see the different things I've been a part of. So I feel like I'll never have that issue of just like doubt or like, questions and things like that, which like, yeah, I love, like, and even like interviews like this, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so, but yeah, I mean, I really want to change the stigma of like nerds in general, because it's like the only show that we've gotten, or like the last show that we got that was like focused on the nerd community, was literally like Big Bang Theory. And it's like, that's for some people, people like it, that's fine. But I felt like it was just like, okay, there's that nerddom, but then there's also the nerddom that I know that I'm a part of, that I know best, and we're nothing like that. Like we don't, like I can't relate to that. Sorry, I can't. Like as quirky and like weird and awkward as I am, I still can't relate to that. So like I was like, I want to just write what I relate to, what I know. Like, you know, I want to write the friends that I know. I want to write about like situations I've been in as a nerd, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to like, you know, just living life, dating, you know, friendships, jobs, careers, like all of that stuff. Like, cause it really does, you know, affect, you know, your interests and things like that sometimes do like, you know, kind of blend in and affect like the world around you. So I just thought it'd be cool to write about that aspect versus, you know, what we are so used to, like when we hear nerds, because we also really haven't gotten that yet. Like we got a little bit of it with Donald Glover in Atlanta. You know what I mean? I love Donald Glover. And like his character Earn clearly was like a little bit of a nerd, but like we're not getting that yet. So yeah,
there's an aspect of nerd culture, Black nerd culture, that I really want to highlight in a way, and I haven't figured out how I want to do it yet. But like, I got family that grew up in the hood, you know. Yeah. And the funny thing about it is like I never talked to them about this, about geek, about anything. So then when I started doing this, my platform, and then I started growing, them same cousins was like, yo, fam, but Goku though, like it's like,
I'm telling you, like niggas in the hood love. First of all, Dragon Ball Z. I wrote an article about this years ago. You can't find it anymore, but like I don't know what it is, but hood niggas love Dragon Ball Z.
Shonen anime. Dragon Ball Z.
But you know what? And I always say this. I always refer to this. There was an article by Inverse.com, I think it was, and the creative director of Adult Swim spoke on who was watching Toonami in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And he said, it was, he used the term ethnic minority youths, right? Especially boys, and that were watching Dragon Ball Z. And I was like, well, you know, when like white people use ethnic minority youths, they're just afraid to say Black. Yeah. Like they're just afraid to say Black and brown, you know what I mean? So I was like, this is the proof we need right here. Like Black people literally like love anime. Like that's just like what it is. You know?
The funniest thing about it, even outside of that, them same ones would be like, hey, but you know what else is probably kind of a little lit? I'm like, what? They're like, hey man, I watched a couple of Sailor Moon. And I'm like, so it's like that story is not told. Like, fam, like niggas in the hood, they gonna dive in a little bit deep. They gonna watch Dragon Ball Z. They gonna check out a little Sailor Moon. A lot of them watch, you know, like it's like they can go back. Like, oh yeah, I used to watch Bleach. I used to watch like a lot of, you know what I'm saying? We came from that, and I was like, that has not been told yet. And I was like, I would love to do that because, you know, like, you know, one of my favorite interviews that I did is I had the fortunate to interview O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Recently connected with him. He's really cool.
So cool. And it's like you on the outside looking at people, it's like, oh, that's Ice Cube's son. He probably hardcore gangster, whatever like that.
He's a nerd.
We talked all about anime, video game. It was so amazing. And I was like, see, this is what I love. I was like, everywhere you go, you're gonna find an interview with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and they're gonna talk about Straight Outta Compton, Ice Cube, his dad, gangster music, some of the acting that he's doing. I said, I got the only interview that you're gonna get where you're gonna see him nerd out. He's gonna geek out. Same thing with Jay Ellis. I got a chance to interview Jay Ellis, and this is where I was like, oh, he a true geek. Is because when I talked to him and we talked about DC, he said his favorite character was Blue Beetle. Now, I was like, the average comic book watcher, like who just got into it, they're not gonna name Blue Beetle. You got to be in the trenches. And I was like, yo, he in the trenches. And I was like, I love that. That's what I love. I love being able to talk to people. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? People may be like, oh, this may come for one thing, and then they get something else. Like, oh, I didn't even know he was into that. That's the moment that I love so much. So speaking of, like you said, you got like, you know, so many pilots that you're writing. Another thing that you said you wrote, and I don't know how serious you was or not about it, but you said you wrote a reality TV premise of Black DC characters and Marvel characters.
Ooh, yes. Okay. I wrote the first episode of that, and I ended up scrapping it because I think I was like, by the time, so I was going to film that, and then the pandemic hit. Everybody in the cast went their separate ways. They like, some people moved out of LA, and I was like, okay, so whatever. And I thought about getting back into it, but then I was like, well, I feel like this is the time to like create more original projects. Like I want to be able to like submit stuff to like film festivals and stuff. And I can't do that if I'm using other people's property and like nothing is original. So while I still have the script and like, let me tell you, it's funny. Like it's funny. But like maybe like one day I'll do like a little thing for it. But yeah, I just kind of have to put that to the side and be like, okay, I still want to do like, you know, things that are like Black and nerdy. So like what can I do moving forward, but that's like original that like won't get me in trouble with Warner Brothers or something. Like,
because you said you may do something with it later on. I just want to ask, who was the messy person? Because you know reality TV always got one person that's messy. Like who was the new?
Oh, I can tell you, it was Vixen. Vixen was the one starting all the drama throughout the script, and I made sure because I was like, one thing about Vixen, you know, she's like model. She has like all these like different side gigs and stuff. Yeah. So like in my script, I was like, oh, I wanted to make her like an Instagram model who's like chasing clout. Yeah. And like, so like through the whole script, you just see her being messy, like even like behind the scenes when they go to the what do they call them? The confessionals and stuff like that. Yeah. It's really funny. I hope I can like bring it and maybe like make it like a YouTube project one day. But I just want to like establish myself a little bit more.
Okay, so now I gotta ask. So again, doing my research, come to find out that the SNS Super Nintendo was the first system that you had. So I always like to ask. I mean, you did say Mario was the first game that you were playing, but I would like to ask, what is the one game that you talk the most shit in? The one that you like, nobody can see me in this game.
That I talk the most shit in. Oh, let me not say that. I'd be lying, low key.
Sometimes you and not really. Sometimes it's a game that you're not even the best in, but you just got really good trash talk.
What? Okay, are you talking about like fighting games, or are you talking about like first person shooter? Or are you talking about like
any game? Because everybody always got that game that brings it out them. So I want to know what's the game that brings it out you.
The game that brings, honestly, for being honest, it's Fortnite. Like for me, I still play Fortnite. I don't care. Like I will tweet about it. It's like I know everybody fell off from Fortnite, but me, I started getting better at it like during the pandemic. And for me, like I have my moments, but like when I'm like really in the game, like you can't, like nobody seems like you can't tell me shit. Like when I like get my specific amount of kills, because like each game that I play, I always have like an amount of kills that I want to get. Yeah. For each game. So like when I hit that goal, like you can't tell me anything. But yeah, I love Fortnite. It's like a stress reliever for me. Like big stress reliever. I love Fortnite. What else? I'm trying to think. I was really good at Uncharted, like the whole Uncharted series. Yep. I was really good to the point where Uncharted 4, I played it on hard mode and I beat it in 3 days. I was really unnecessarily good at that game. But yeah.
Are you excited for the Uncharted movie?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes.
The trailer didn't sell it for me yet. I was like,
you know, I have my opinions. Mm-hmm. I try to like keep away from like making those opinions known because you know you just never know. Yeah. But I anything Uncharted I will support. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like when I saw the trailer, because like you know when going up to it, I'm like, all right, I know what Uncharted is and everything like that. So I was like, all right, so. And I'm like, all right, I kind of like Tom Holland as an actor. You know what I'm saying?
I love Tom Holland.
I know him. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this goes. And then when the trailer came out, I was like, I don't know.
You know what I'm really excited for is I think her name is Tati Gabriel. She was, I'm really excited.
That was the one. That was the lady that was in Sabrina, right?
Yeah, she was in Sabrina. I'm so excited. I had no idea she was going to be in it until I saw the trailer.
Me either.
I'm really excited to see her.
Hey, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because I was like, did they digitize her? Because didn't she look digital in the trailer? It was weird.
I'll have to watch it again, but I don't know.
But she also has flawless skin, so like it could.
Oh yeah, she doesn't look like a real, but like she looks like otherworldly. Like she is like gorgeous, like insane.
So me and you have a couple of things in common that I wanted to point out, because Nightwing is also my favorite character in DC, and I was like, she loves Nightwing.
I do.
Yeah. So why do you love Nightwing so much?
You know, I just feel like when I was coming up in comics, I was like, younger and like could relate to like a lot of the younger heroes more so. Even though I've always loved Batman, I've always loved Batman. Like when I've always loved Batman, but Nightwing for some reason like spoke to me. Like he was he was meant for like the younger crowd. You know what I mean? Each time they make like a new hero, it's always like meant for a certain crowd. And like I was that crowd at the time. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, man, like this guy is like chatty, he's like charming, like he's different. He's not what Batman is, like what we're used to from Batman. No. He's just like his own, like really cool, like I don't know. He's just really cool. And honestly, it was Nightwing that got me into actually reading physical comics. Oh. So like, yeah, my first comic was Grayson. My first comic was literally Grayson. And so after I read that, I was like, oh my God, if I didn't already love Nightwing, I definitely like fucking love this fucking character like a million times more. And then I started like reading like a lot of the Rebirth comics, and then I don't know if you can see my shelf back here, but I mean they're all a lot of them.
I like, moved my head like that was going.
Yeah, let me move my big old head like from the. Yeah, this is what we're really here for. But yeah, so I love Nightwing. I love all the Robins. Like I'm a Robin fanatic, is what it is.
You know what? So I am for different reasons. I think the only one that I really don't got too much love for is Tim Drake. I'm like,
really? Why are you hating on Tim? What happened?
No. Wait. No, not wait. Who's the wait? So it's Dick Grayson, Tim Drake. Who's the third one? No, Tim Drake is the third one, right?
You mean no? So there's Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and then Damian, and then
Tim Drake. Yeah, I don't know, because like okay, so Jason Todd, his storyline, and just with everything with him becoming Red Hood and everything like that, like I love that storyline. So like I even loved it when they repurposed it with the Arkham Knight. Like I just love that storyline so much because it was just like, man, like this makes sense. Of course, you know, like I said, Dick Grayson and his whole Nightwing ascendant, I do love. And then Damian, I like him because I feel like he is the most Batman-ish Robin. Like he's just all he wants to do is fight like Batman.
I love Damian. I don't understand the hate for him. Like when he first came out, people were like going in hard on him. I was like, what? This kid is like, he doesn't take anybody's shit, not even Bruce's. You know how like
Black Air Force energy. That's what he has.
Yes, Black Air Force, like peak Black Air Force energy. Like Damian does not give a shit. Like, and then it was like wild that like, you know, which movie was that? Was it Justice League versus Teen Titans? I think it was, where they were like, okay, like, yeah, Damian is this like hard person, but the only person that can make him soften up a bit was Raven. And I thought that was kind of cute. I was like, that's adorable. But no, I love Damian. I feel like, you know, even though his like circumstances for like how he came to be was like wild, that's probably like the only problematic thing that I think about when it comes to Damian. But like, yeah, I think it's a really cool character. I love the way he treats everybody the same. He's just like, I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you.
If you ain't putting up numbers, then I ain't got nothing to talk to you right now.
Exactly. Oh my God, I love it.
I just feel like, because like Tim Drake and the whole Red Robin story, I don't know. I just never connected to Tim Drake at all. Storyline. So I wouldn't say I got a problem with him. He's just there to me. Like,
I think they could have definitely, I fell off. Like I have not like read any Robin comics, even though I heard there's like a really good one out right now that I keep seeing like screen caps from. But like, yeah, I feel like Tim Drake, a lot of the critique that he gets is that like they don't write him very well. Like anytime they use him, they don't write him very well, which I understand. Like I get it, but like yeah, you know, I love all the Robins.
All right, so just a few more questions, and then we'll get into. We got 2 segments that we ended out with, but one thing like I just wanted to kind of get your take on, because we got a lot of really dope characters coming in the MCU, and I know that it's always the debate of MCU fatigue and where we're at right now. But I don't know. I'm still hopeful. I feel like the shows and the movies really still got me. But I wanted to see: is there any MCU property that you're excited for coming up? Or any character that you're excited to see on the big screen finally?
I'm gonna say honestly, Miss Marvel.
Ooh.
Miss Marvel, and then obviously Black Panther 2. Rest in peace, Chadwick. What else? I don't even the new Doctor Strange one. I think that's like a big one that people have been waiting for. Yeah, I think those are my top 3 right now. I can't even think of what else is on the roster.
They got so many phases and
They
things.
they do. I'm just like, okay.
I know they're saying Doctor Strange is going to have more characters than Endgame. That's one of the rumors. More cameo.
Oh, it better. Like, yeah, it had better. Like, hello.
Like, man, did you enjoy No Way Home?
Oh, I loved it. Dude, I was screaming in the theater. Like, I was the annoying person that was like, oh my God. You know, I was that person in the theater.
Because, you know, it's, to me, I said it on my podcast. I said this Spider-Man is the best superhero trilogy to me. I got it above Dark Knight. I got it above Captain America's trilogy. I got it above, of course, the first Spider-Man trilogy. I'm trying to think what other trilogies. I got it above the Avengers trilogy. If you take Avengers, Infinity War, and well, they got a quadruple, but I don't know. It's just like I think with Spider-Man, and I don't know if you got this from this as well, but like we never saw 3 movies be somebody's origin. I thought that was amazing writing. I was like, and the fact that we didn't catch it until the moment that Aunt May said, spoiler alert for those who didn't see it. I'll make sure I put it. But when Aunt May said, you know, with great power comes great responsibility.
Great responsibility, yeah.
And it clicked like, wait, this is everything that leads up to your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I thought that was amazing, and then and the way that they rebooted it and the decisions that Peter Parker had to make, and then for him to really see the consequences of his actions like that, like for me, that blew my mind once I sat back and evaluated the whole trilogy. I don't know if you got that same sense.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. It was really dope how they put that together, because I felt like also that, but like also I felt like this was like, I don't know, it was kind of like a blast from the past, but like for like different generations, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I thought that was really cool, like showing like, okay, yeah, we may have like not used these guys like Toby and Andrew again, but like that doesn't mean like we're still like showing them, giving them the flowers that they deserve all those years, you know what I mean? And so I thought that was really cool. It was really cool to pay homage to like the old Spider-Man. Yeah, it was a really dope movie. I really enjoyed it. I haven't gotten a chance to see it again because Omnicron, whatever her name is, Omni something.
Onomatopoeia.
Yeah, Onomatopoeia. She's here. But yeah, it was really, really cool the way they did that. And I love that like there was like obviously so much genuine respect throughout the 3 of them. Like it didn't seem like there was like any egos or anything. Like when you saw like press photos and things like that, it was really cool.
Yeah. So now with all this superhero stuff that we gotten a while back ago, you had Dark Knight as your favorite movie. Is that still your favorite movie?
Yes, I'm gonna say yes, because it's the only superhero movie that I've seen probably like 20 plus times.
Hey, I respect it. I'm not. I don't have any rebuttal against it. I was just wondering, did anything change since then?
No. It's like the only. I'm telling you, you can put that movie on and I'll know word for word, bar for bar. Like literally, like I understand like all these other movies that are coming out, like they're great, but The Dark Knight for me, I don't know what it was. Like it just like activated something in me, like another level of nerdiness that I didn't even know that I had. I was like, whoa! After watching The Dark Knight, I was like a different person. So,
change your world, life change.
It really did. That's what I like to feel about a movie. You know what I mean?
All right. So the last 2 segments. All right. So I'm gonna ask you a question that every nerd hates, but I'm gonna ask you, and I'm gonna give a caveat. I'm gonna talk about. You can be currently, and it does not have to be in order. What are your current top 5 animes?
I knew you were asked that.
I know everybody hates it, but I gotta ask.
Top 5? I don't even know. Okay, first of all, Dragon Ball Z is my number 1. Yeah. I love Dragon Ball Z. I don't care what the consensus is between everybody in the anime community. I love DBZ. I know how DBZ makes me feel when I watch it. Yeah. So that's my always number 1. Number 2.
Me and you are right here. This whole interview.
Because people like to be like, "Oh, Dragon Ball Z, really?" I'm just like, yeah, really. I won't listen. I won't back down. Like, okay, I'm very like heavy on my stance when it comes to DBZ. It's my number 1 anime. Yu Yu Hakusho. This is the no order after this. After DBZ,
it doesn't have to be in order, and it doesn't. Okay. It could be now. It doesn't have to be all time. It could be whatever you choose right now, off top of the head.
Okay. So DBZ, Yu Yu Hakusho, Death Note, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. How many is that?
One more.
4. One more. Bleach.
You are, I love Bleach.
I'm
man.
a shonen person.
Me too. You know what? I realized that too. So because kind of go back to your DBZ, I tell people all the time. I said, look, Dragon Ball Z, it may not have the most compelling story, but
it is needed.
If you talk about pure emotion, every time I watch it, I can name at least 10 moments that got me like, yeah. Like,
listen, DBZ is literally the blueprint. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't care. Like, y'all are like hyping up all these other shows, which I get it. There's plenty of great anime out there, but DBZ is literally the blueprint. I could probably like relate any shonen anime that I've seen to DBZ in some way, shape, or form. Like when I was watching Hunter x Hunter, I was like, this is Dragon Ball Z. This is Dragon Ball inspired to the highest degree. Like you literally could not tell me Gon was not inspired by Goku. The art was inspired by Dragon Ball. Like they were like, you can tell, like you can literally just tell when you watch it. So, you know, just like watching Jujutsu Kaisen, and you can obviously tell who their inspirations were for making Jujutsu Kaisen. Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach, like they even reference it in the anime. So it's like, you know, everybody has their inspirations, but like Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball are the blueprint. Like,
yeah, I love it. I can't wait. I've been reading the mangas, and I'm like, I can't wait until when they bring this storyline, because you know, my only gripes with Dragon Ball Z is that they always shortchange my man Vegeta, man. Like I feel like in Resurrection F, he should have been the one that dealt the final blow with Frieza. They shouldn't have done that whole rewind thing and let Goku do it. Like I was upset about that. But like it
would be nice to see Vegeta win for once. Like even when he sacrificed himself in the Buu saga, it was like they still couldn't, like they could have easily just let Majin Buu be gone and that was the end of the saga. But they were like, nope. Like
you always got to go back to Goku. Like, fam, come on, man. But
I even let Hercule be a winner at one point. Mr. Satan be a winner at one point before Vegeta. Isn't that crazy? The disrespect.
But the one thing I tell people, and I was like, you cannot fight against. I was like where I say Dragon Ball Z may not have the best story, Vegeta has one of the greatest anime arcs ever. Like,
in anime history.
Man, and then also like to me, I said the top tier moment of it is, and where I hate Toppo, I hate him so much. But when he told Vegeta that he threw away everything so he can get this power, and Vegeta was like, "Nigga, what? Like that family?" He was like, "You will throw away family." And when he turned to his true blue form, I felt like Vegeta was like, I felt that. I was like, yeah, because it was like, I think he came to Earth and he was this villain, and now he's one of the most passionate fighters for Earth. Like
for Earth, the place that he was trying to sell and like destroy, like his character development is unmatched. I know I made a video with Funimation where I talked about this very topic when it came to like anime villains and their like redemption arcs, and I couldn't use Vegeta for a specific licensing reason, which whatever. But I already knew that the moment that video was out, people were gonna be like, "Well, where's Vegeta?" And I was like. And as soon as the video came out, the comments were flooded with like, you can't have this list without Vegeta. And I'm like, trust me, I know. He is the king of character development. Trust me, I know.
All right, so another top 5, and again, it doesn't have to be in order or anything, but being that you are of this nerd community and everything, there's all these different fandoms. And when I talk about fandoms, I talk about like, you know, again, Dragon Ball Z fandom, DC, Batman, stuff like that. So if you had to pick 5 fandoms that you would put as your top, and again, it doesn't have to be in order, but just 5 fandoms that you just absolutely love what they put
out. What the fandom puts out? Okay, well, the Dragon Ball fandom, even though they can be a little bit, you know, wild sometimes, I follow a lot of fan art, a lot of artist pages in the Dragon Ball world. I also follow the topic. It's like one of the only topics that I follow on Twitter. It's like, I've been trying to commission like some dope Dragon Ball art, but everybody's like not doing commissions. It's like been so frustrating. But like, so I love the DBZ fandom. I love the Fire Force fandom. Like we're small but mighty. You know, we're out here trying to wonder where's season 3. I don't know who's watching, but you know, we're waiting. What else? I follow a lot of DC. So I follow not DC, but like a lot of the Robin Robin stans. I follow like a lot of Robin fans on Twitter. And they're really cool. They're always posting screen caps like of things that I know I can't get to read. So I'm always like, okay.
Yeah.
Man, top 5. Let's see. In the nerd space. I feel like those are the only like 3 that I really like follow, that I like actually like really follow and like genuinely, you know, spend my time in.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I'm, you know, regardless of like what I'm interested, I'm always like seeing stuff from different fandoms all the time. Like Demon Slayer fandom is hilarious. Like like every Sunday there's like something new like trending in the Demon Slayer fandom. It's really funny.
But I mean, and that's because I mean, right now with Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, they are killing it right now with their return.
Those are the only, honestly, those are the only 2 that I feel like can compete with each other. Not that they're competing, but like to be on the same day, it's like those are the only 2 that I feel like really could like do it and like still be successful, you know, between the both of them. Like, because those are like really like this season of Demon Slayer is so top tier. It's like,
yeah, it is.
Wow.
It
like
is.
really good.
But it feel like it never started because when never stopped, because when Demon Slayer first came out, it blew us away. Then Mugen Train dropped and we was like, oh my God. And now like y'all just
now we're like, oh my fucking God, like this is crazy. Like what somebody said that this is gonna be the best arc and I see it already. I'm just like
and I feel the same way about Attack on Titan. So I got on Attack on Titan late because I remember I kept on seeing the commercials on Funimation. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, giants eating people. I'm thinking like they're probably gulping and just like, you know, one shot take. So then the very first episode when I watch it and I see the Titan rip Aaron's mom apart and the blood splatter on Aaron's face, I was like, what is this? And then watching his whole journey to now, I was like, bro, this is stressful as hell, but it was like this is like I can't turn away.
It is stressful, but like he's been through a lot. He's been through a lot. Honestly, a lot of these anime characters go through a lot and still end up being the same person. I feel like Aaron's transformation is the most realistic for him. Like that's what I feel.
Yeah. He ain't making friends. He ain't still because like you know what I'm saying, you look at Goku, Naruto, Deku, like just all the like these main characters, even Ichigo, like they still like they still got some bubbly to them. They're still trying to recruit friends. And Aaron just looked like he got a fifth of hen, and he's just like, bro, I don't know. Like he just looked like he's going through it right now.
He has been through it and it shows. And I'm just like, I'm hoping that there's redemption here somewhere. I haven't read the manga. So like, you know, I'm rooting for my boy Aaron. I know he can.
I'm still on him. I'm still with him.
Yeah, I'm still team Aaron. People think I'm crazy, but I'm like, they're like, oh, he murdered people. I was like, okay, what's that got to do with me? Like, I'm still with him, you know?
Like he saw his mom get ripped apart. Listen here, this murder is gonna happen, fam. Like,
what would you do if you found out that the very people who killed your mom and like destroyed your town and your happiness were pretending to be your friends this whole time? What would you do?
What would you do? If your son was at home. All right, so last segment we like to do is called recommendations. It could be anything that you're watching, reading, listening to, but something that you think our listeners and viewers should check out.
You mentioned Southside on HBO Max. Amazing. Like it's so funny, super funny. But also another good HBO Max show that I don't think anybody knows of is this, what is it called? Oh my gosh, I just had a brain fart. What is it called? It's called, oh man.
Who's in it?
No, what is it called? It's like, I have to Google it, I'm sorry.
The Session?
No, it's called like Sort of. It's called Sort of. There's this HBO Max show called Sort of. Okay. And it's really funny. It's a comedy, but like also gets like deep. So I guess it's like more like a dramedy, but it's about this non-binary, okay, so their name is Bilal Beg. I hope I'm saying that right. But like, anyway, it's their show. It's like this non-binary character who kind of goes through life, and like, you know, we don't see that. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. So it's really really freaking funny. Like it's hilarious. Probably one of the top shows on HBO Max that they need to promote more, just like they need to promote Southside more. But
yes, they do. Yeah.
I'm like, you know, but anyway, so yeah, so Sort of Southside. What can I recommend? Read Grayson Agents of Spiral, read that comic. If you haven't read it yet, it's iconic. I've been trying to like, every day I'm just like adding Tom King and I'm like, can you please just bring this back so I can feel something again? What else? Watch Shades of Cosplay on February 4th. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that on my YouTube channel at Cheyenne The Geek on YouTube because it's gonna be free for everybody to watch. What else? What else can I recommend? Watch Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh, yep, yeah.
Jujutsu Kaisen is great. It's like one of the best anime out right now. So when it comes back, y'all need to get on it.
All right, so where can my people find you at?
You can find me everywhere now that I've decided to not be chaotic and have a consistent brand at Cheyenne The Geek, all one word, Cheyenne The Geek, Cheyenne The Geek, on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and yeah.
All right, and then outside of the documentary on February 4th, you said, right?
Yeah, February 4th.
Outside of that, is there anything else that's coming up that we need to be paying attention to?
I mean, I also host Prime Video Anime Club on the Prime Video YouTube channel, so you can tune in for that. I want to say every week, but it's really more like every other week. But yeah, so like I'm there, and nothing right now, but if you follow me on social, I'll be able to announce a few things in the future.
Bet. All right, well, I've been Deuces. Has been one-on-one with Deuces. It's been the amazing, multi-hyphenated, talented, just super dope individual, Cheyenne The Geek, and we are out. Peace.
Bye, y'all.
Flawless victory.